We're going to a world where there'll never be any silence. What do I mean by that? Silence by you are always connected. You're never disconnected. I remember when I was younger, my sister would go in her room and she had her own space. She had her own silence. She was in her own mind, her own head, her own environment. And she could play with the dolls. She could play with her dollhouse. She could do whatever she wanted to do. It was her world. There wasn't a camera in her world. There wasn't a phone that was going to ring in her world. There wasn't a mother watching over her. She would close the door and she would have her own silence. I had the same thing, even though we were doors apart. We were doors apart. I had my room. I had my own mental silence. I could sit there and I could imagine what I wanted to do, and I could think about music. Or if I wanted to play my drums, I could do. And wanted to play my guitar, I could do. I had my own mental silence. I knew, my mind knew without a doubt that it was not going to be interrupted. It was not going to be interrupted by a phone ringing. I have my phone on me. I use this as a phone. By a device ringing, begging for my attention. There was not that. We had a phone on a wall that would ring, but occasionally, once in a while it would ring. It didn't ring. It wasn't a constant bombardment of advertisement and promotion and control and manipulation. I want to sell you something. I want to sell you something. That is the world we're in right now. So the kids that are coming up in the world now, the younger kids, the 5, 6, 7-year-olds that are going to be adults in a few years, never will experience silence. They never will experience silence. And that is so sad, because silence brings you closer to yourself. Silence brings you closer to your own reality. Silence brings you closer to your thinking and your creativity and your mind, how your mind creates things. Think about, I used to walk when I was younger, when I lived in Tarpon Springs, when I was writing my book back in 1970, 72, 3, 4. Back in the early 70s. I used to walk in the backwoods of my mom's farm. It was about 80 acres of just woods. There's no woods. It was so quiet. Maybe I'd hear an owl in the evening or in the morning, or maybe I'd see a deer. Sometimes I'd see a rattlesnake, or maybe I would see a possum or a gopher turtle or something. And I've kept walking through the woods. I was immersed into that silence, into that amazing, amazing world of silence. When I say silent, I'm not saying not hearing my surroundings. I'm saying it was my world. It was just my world. It was nobody else's world. Nobody else is coming into me. Nobody else is tell me what to do, or tell me how to think, or tell me how to believe, tell me how to be. It was my own world, my own environment, in my own head. You get that when you're in a physical space that is silent. That's what Common Point's all about. Being in a physical space of silence, you can see yourself, you can understand yourself, you can dig deeper into yourself, you can have revelations, you can create things from your own mind. This is all being taken away from us because of AI, because of robotics, because of the internet. We are losing our silence. We are losing our silence. And by losing our silence, we are losing our humanity. We are losing our identity. What is your identity? So we're going to be raising people with no identity. Their stamp of identity will be something that's put upon them. The stamp of identity will be something that's put upon them, not something that they created from their own internal being. That's so sad. It's sort of like a religion. AI and being connected to all this is sort of like being in a religion. Because religions tell you how to think, how to be, how to live, how to function. That's what a religion does. And you accept that. You lose your personal identity by accepting that. You give away your personal identity, your personal desires, your personal meaning of yourself. When you accept that, we are accepting this. This monster that we're creating, we are accepting this. And we're losing so much. Not only are we losing our silence, we are losing our ability to create and to be critical thinkers. We are losing our ability to think out of the box. If you just sit down and you think about that concept, like, I just want to go in my garage, or I want to go in the backyard, and I want to make something. I just want to make something. Like the other day, I wanted to make a shelf in the kitchen to put the spices on and some cups and dishes on. And I went in the garage. I had to find a piece of wood. I had to find the screws. I get the drill. I had to get a skill saw to cut the wood. All that is a creative process. I got it done, and it looks great. Roommate comes home. Oh, great! We have a place to put the the sugar and the salt now. It's a creative process. We're training our society to not be able to do that. We're training our society to not want to do that. So your daily practice, your daily lesson in this video is this. I want you to practice silence. It's not meditation. It's immersion. It's common point immersion. I want you to practice silence. I want you to find a space, a place, a space. It could be in your house. It could be in a park. It could be on a boat. It could be on the beach. But I want you to find a place in the world, if you can, find a place in your world that is quiet. Seek quiet. Seek quiet. Seek silence. If you can find a wooded path to walk down, great. Or if you can be on a boat in the middle of the lake, great. If you have to lock yourself in a room where there's nothing going on, no air conditioners, nothing going on around you, no music, no connecting, no connection to anything. Just be with yourself in your own head with silence. Focus on the silence. Focus on the silence in your own world. When you focus on the silence in your own world, your mind will create anything you want. Your mind will develop anything you want. Your mind will invent anything you want. Your mind will discover anything you want. Your mind will achieve anything you want through silence. That is when the mind works its best. Not when it's being bombarded by tons of information and tons of chatter. Remove yourself from all the chatter. Remove yourself from all the bombardment. Bombardment, is that a word? Remove yourself from all the, maybe that's a word. Bombardment, that's the word I'm looking for. Find a place in your world. If you have to make it, if you have to take a closet, if you have to take a closet and soundproof it and be in the closet with no sound, lay on the floor in a closet, dark, with no sound, and listen to silence. And the silence will talk to you. That silence will talk. You will hear your heartbeat. You will hear your blood going. Your mind will move. Your mind will create. Your mind will think through silence. All things are created through silence. All things begin through silence. All things are discovered through silence. When America was discovered, when the pioneers were coming over here to discover the Americas, they found it through silence. Because honestly, they got lost. They shut all the rigging off. They stood on the ship and go, where the heck are we? And through that silence, they heard wildlife. They heard nature. They heard it in their minds and thought, let's go that direction. And they found land through silence. And it's more than just, I'm going to go walk in the woods. It's more than just sitting on the beach, getting away from the kids. It's more than getting out of busy traffic and getting away from the hustle and bustle. It's more than detaching yourself from the digital world or offline. It is that deeper connection with yourself. As I said earlier in the video about my sister being able to go into her room, we were very lucky as children. We had our own space to discover ourselves. We had our own space of silence that our parents didn't bother with us. We weren't watched. There was no cameras. There was no constant monitoring. There wasn't a computer in every room. All the kids have computers in rooms today, which is a very dangerous thing. So put yourself in a space of complete silence. Black out the world of chatter. Black out the world of commands. Black out the world of demands. Black out the world of manipulation. Take that challenge. Do this daily practice. Find a space or place where you can be silent. It's not meditation. It's common point immersion. There's a difference. It's not dropping out. It's connecting. Like I said earlier, I'm going to tell you something. No, I better not tell you that. Get myself in trouble. Like I said earlier, you can take a closet, take a closet in your house, and make it a silent space. I want you to experience complete quiet. What you hear is you hear the blood rushing through your body. You hear your heartbeat. You hear your breathing. This is an immersion. This is the basic common point immersion, is to find a place of silence and be part of that silence. For silence brings to you a clear mind. Silence will bring to you anything that you want, because it gives your mind a chance to develop and think out of the box. It gives your mind a chance to be creative. It gives your mind a chance to tap in to what you want to do in your life. Through silence, everything is possible. Silence is your power. Silence is the power. I'm going to tell you a story about my dad and silence. I'm not a hunter. I don't agree with hunting. I think if you have to eat, fine, I get it. But as a sport, I don't agree with it. My dad was a hunter, and he wanted me to be a hunter, and I didn't want to get involved. But one thing about my father that I learned, he would go hunting. He would take his buddies. He'd drive them to Maine or bring them to New York, wherever it was I used to go hunting. He would be with 4 or 5 different guys. He would always come home with a couple of deer. Always. Every time he went hunting, he'd come home with a couple of deer. The other guys, not so much. How did my father always achieve that and they didn't? Through silence. I'm going to explain to you how. His buddies, they had a lodge. They would go up to the lodge, and they would all go out and they go start to hunt. And they would go separate directions. My dad would literally climb up in a tree and sit in the crotch of the tree and wait. He would just wait and be completely silent. And the next thing you know, a couple of deer would walk by and he would get his deer. The other guys are walking around and they're talking and they're looking and they're walking around and walking around. I'm not for hunting. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with killing animals for pleasure or sport. I don't think it's right. But I'm using that as an example. Back to my sister and I. My sister had her room and she could be in her own space. I had my room, I could be in my own space. My mother had the kitchen. She had her own space. We're living in an age now where our silence and our space, our personal space, is being stolen from us. How do we get that back? How do we keep it? You keep it by doing lessons like I'm giving you. You keep it by doing a daily practice or a weekly practice. Find a place to have quiet. Find a place to have peace of mind. Find a place to keep your own mind. It is your mind. It is not theirs. It is not their property. It is yours. They are intruding on you. They are intruding on your privacy, on your personality, on your person. They are intruding on you. It is not going to go away, but you can divert it. You can not eliminate it, but you can work around it where you have some space in your mind for that silent moments. Do that. That is the lesson in this video. The daily practice. Find a place you can be quiet and let your mind be your mind. Find a place where you can be quiet or design or build a place where you can be quiet. And I'm not saying about in the backyard in a hammock where you hear all this stuff going on, airplanes flying, cars going by, the neighbor mowing the lawn. That's not the space. It's got to be completely silent. You do not hear nothing. You can't hear a thing but yourself. Your own thoughts, your heart, your breathing. You need to design that space. If you have to find a closet, a room, to do that. And you will see an amazing growth in your life when you do this. Because you're giving your mind freedom to create. Giving your mind freedom to open up. You're giving your mind freedom to be itself. Not be controlled by something else. Love you guys. Daily practice. Find that space. Find that place. Discover that place, wherever it may be, and your life will change immensely. Your life will change immensely when you discover that space in your life. Gotta go. Bye now.